How long could you survive if every other human on Earth suddenly disappeared? Not humanity collapsing slowly. Not a disaster with a few survivors. Everyone else gone. And now the question is not, would this be lonely? It would. The real question is, how long before the world, which was built to be maintained by billions of people, becomes too dangerous and too broken for one person to keep up with? So let us imagine it. You wake up tomorrow and everyone else on Earth is gone. Not hiding. Not pranking you. Not stuck in traffic forever. Gone. 8 billion people vanished overnight. No bodies. No warning. No note saying, back in 5 minutes, do not touch civilization. Just you. At first, this sounds like a strange fantasy. No school, no boss, no emails, no meetings that should have been a message. You could sleep in a mansion, drive any car, eat all the snacks in the supermarket, walk into a movie theater and finally choose the good seat. For about one day, this feels less like the end of humanity and more like the world's weirdest premium subscription. But that feeling would not last, because modern life is not made of stuff. It is made of coordination. The food in a supermarket is there because farmers, truck drivers, warehouse workers, mechanics, dispatchers, software systems, road crews, and store employees all keep doing their jobs in the right order. Your clean water comes from pipes, pumps, treatment plants, spare parts inspections, and teams of people whose names you will never know. Your electricity comes from a giant machine made of power plants, fuel deliveries, control rooms, grid balancing, repairs, and a very large number of humans politely preventing the lights from having a nervous breakdown. Take away all the people, and the stuff is still here for a while. But the systems are already dying, so let us walk through it, not just the first few exciting days. The whole rest of your life, or at least however much of it the planet allows. 1 hour, 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, because the answer changes at every stage. The first hour would be confusing. You call someone, no answer. You text, nothing. You look outside, no pedestrians, no cars moving normally. Maybe a few vehicles crash because their drivers disappeared while driving. That is a bad sign. You turn on the TV. Maybe it still works. The internet may still work briefly in some places. Automated systems do not vanish instantly just because the humans did. For a short time, the world keeps twitching from momentum. Planes continue flying until fuel and physics become very personal. Trains keep rolling until safety systems stop them. Factory belts keep moving until something jams, overheats, or runs out. But after one day, denial begins to lose. You can search your neighborhood, your city, maybe even a police station or hospital. No people, no rescue, no explanation. You're not in a disaster with survivors. You're in a museum where all the staff disappeared. And at first, survival seems easy. There's food everywhere. Bottled water, canned soup, medicine, blankets, clothing tools. You could live very comfortably for weeks just by scavenging nearby stores and houses. You might even upgrade your lifestyle immediately. Why sleep in your apartment when there is a luxury penthouse with better snacks and fewer emotional memories? Day 1 is the last moment this still feels vaguely fun. After about 3 days, the tone changes. Comfort is temporary. The first serious problem is not food, it is safety. A world built for billions becomes weirdly dangerous for one fire's start and spread because no one stops them. Kitchen stoves get left on. Industrial furnaces overheat. Chemical plants fail. Flood barriers are not monitored. Pets panic. Livestock break out. You do not need zombies when you already have unattended infrastructure. Then comes water. People always picture food first, but food is patient. Humans are not. Most cities depend on electrically powered pumps and treatment systems. At first, taps may still run from pressure already in the system. Then the pressure drops. Then the water becomes unreliable. Then unsafe. Suddenly your survival plan is not, which sports car should I borrow? It is, how do I get clean water every single day without getting sick and dying in the most historically embarrassing way possible? That changes your priorities fast. By day 3, you are no longer sampling the world, you're triaging it. What can burn? What can flood? What can poison you? What can still feed you? And what do you need to carry before it spoils, breaks, or becomes unreachable? By the end of the first week, you would start becoming less of a modern person and more of a very confused campsite manager. You would need to think in layers: shelter, water, food, medical supplies, heat, or cooling depending on climate. A safe place to sleep, and above all, routine, because routine is what keeps panic from chewing through your brain like a very determined hamster. Where should you live? Probably not in a giant city center for long. Cities have supplies, yes, but they also have risks: fires, flooding, broken glass, locked infrastructure, high rises with elevators that will eventually stop if they have not already. Silence so deep it becomes weirdly loud. A better long-term strategy might be the edge of a small town or rural area, somewhere with clean water nearby, good soil, a defensible house, wood, manual tools, a bicycle. a pharmacy within scavenging distance, and ideally a library, because surviving physically is only half the problem. You're also trying not to slowly become a haunted raccoon with keys. Week 1 is when your strategy stops being temporary. You're no longer waiting for an explanation. You're building a base. Electricity becomes your next heartbreak. At first, parts of the grid may continue briefly. Hydroelectric stations might keep producing for a bit. Some automated plants may limp along, but power grids need balancing. They need operators. When demand and supply drift out of sync, systems trip. Equipment shuts down. Failures cascade. Sooner or later, the lights go out almost everywhere. And unlike in a normal blackout, nobody is coming to restore them. This means refrigeration fails, freezers thaw, food spoils, gas stations stop pumping, most communication systems die, the internet becomes a fossil. The final online status of humanity may be something like last seen recently. Transportation gets weird too. You can still walk, you can still bike. Some older mechanical vehicles might work for a while if you know how to use them and can find fuel. But modern fuel does not last forever. A single flat tire becomes a whole afternoon instead of a minor inconvenience plus a phone call. And this is the central problem of being the last human. Nothing is impossible at first. Everything is impossible eventually. That can of beans is easy. Growing next year's beans is harder. Using bottled water is easy. Securing clean water for decades is harder. Taking medicine from a pharmacy is easy. Manufacturing new medicine is hilariously outside your job description. After 1 month, loneliness becomes physical. At first, you're busy. Search, scavenge, move supplies, test radios, leave notes in public places. Maybe drive to other towns hoping this is somehow local. But eventually, every empty road says the same thing back to you. No one is coming. The human world is still here, but it is no longer human. You can sit in a stadium built for 50,000 people and hear only wind. You can enter a supermarket stocked by global logistics and take whatever you want, because money has become colorful paper with confidence issues. You can press the button at a crosswalk for fun, because society is no longer around to appreciate proper procedure. That loneliness would do strange things to the mind. Humans are social animals. We regulate emotion through other people. Conversation, eye contact, touch, shared routines, jokes, arguments, the tiny daily proof that other minds exist. Take all of that away, and survival becomes psychological as much as physical. You would need structure, wake up at the same time, exercise, work, cook, clean, read, talk out loud if you have to, write a journal so your thoughts do not turn into soup. Celebrate days, mark seasons. Keep the machine of the self running because there is no one else left to do maintenance on it. Month 1 is when survival stops being a scavenger hunt and becomes a lifestyle. The easy food is still around, but the easy mindset is gone. Then come the animals. Pets would become companions if you can care for them. Dogs, especially, might be the closest thing to emotional rescue left on Earth. Cats would continue their long scientific tradition of acting like they were always in charge. Farm animals would escape, starve, or go feral in many places. Zoos become ethically complicated very quickly. You would have to decide where to spend your energy. That is another brutal truth. Being the last human does not make you ruler of Earth. It makes you one exhausted mammal with a to-do list the size of a civilization. After 3 months, the world starts grading your decisions. Did you choose a place with real water? Did you store food carefully? Did you plant anything useful? Did you learn anything practical before the internet died completely? Month 3 is when bad planning starts sending invoices. By the first year, the world would become visibly quieter and wilder. Lawns turn into fields. Road cracks widen. Windows break and stay broken. Some cities flood after pumps fail. Some burn in patches and then go dark. Forests reclaim suburbs. Bird song gets louder. Air pollution drops in many regions. Night skies become spectacular. The stars would be absurdly beautiful, which is nice.